All right, so starting out on your back. I got that one. Oh. Take a few breaths. Get comfy. Allow yourself to relax and sink into the ground. And really focus on feeling that rib cage. Inhale and expand. And as you exhale, feel it draw in. And again, think about that. Inhale and expand. Your bottom rib opens up toward the ground. And as you exhale, everything draws back up and in. So again, that breathing and getting that bottom rib to open helps open up your low back. And then with your next exhale, feel the ribs draw in. Think about lifting the pelvic floor just a little bit. Draw up from the pubic bone to the navel, and then feel the lower or the ribs drop down. So again, you're getting different layers of your abdominals to engage with that draw up and then the drop down. Inhale, expand, exhale. Drop down. One more. And then grab toning balls, arms toward the ceiling. As you inhale, shoulder blades gently press apart. And as you exhale, slowly sink the shoulder blades into the mat. Inhale, feel the rib cage expand. That does most of the work. You're only having to add on just a little bit. And think about that neck staying relaxed as you go. So no tension in the neck, just enough motion that you can feel the shoulder blades apart and feel them pull down. One more. And then splitting the arms into scissors. So one arm goes overhead, the other arm goes down, and then back to center. Inhale, open out, exhale, center. So just kind of let the core go for a moment and notice that natural tendency of the ribs and of the spine to get a little motion in there. And then keep a little bit of it, but stay engaged now so that you're more controlled. So you don't necessarily want to lock anything down, but you want control through the motion. So you have what it takes to be able to manage the range of motion, to be able to manage that speed and that strength and protect the spine. All right, one more time each way. And then arms come down by your sides. If you got toning balls, the hands are going flat on those toning balls. If not, the arms are just held right above the ground so your hands are in level with the shoulders. And then as you inhale, shoulder blades go toward your ears. And as you exhale, reach those shoulder blades away. Inhale, shoulder blades to the ears. Exhale, they reach away. So think about long through the back of the neck. And with the next inhale, add a little head nod. And then exhale back to neutral with the head. Shoulder blades depress a little bit. Inhale, head nod. Exhale. So again, just warming up through the neck and shoulders. Keep the neck out of it though. Last one. All right, take a breath. Just check in again. Notice how you feel. Inhale, give me just that head nod. Exhale, engage the core, drop the ribs, and then slowly curl yourself up. Hands slide on the toning balls. Inhale, exhale, slowly back down. So you're feeling the toning balls move. Inhale, head nod. Exhale, engage from the bottom, engage from the top. Roll, inhale, and exhale. One more time like this. Just kind of check it in, see how everything's working together, and then release. All right, George goes underneath both feet. We're doing a little hip release here. Find that nice stable spot. And then as you're ready, inhale, slowly press both legs out long. Keep your core stable. Knees and toes turn out, and you slowly bring those knees back up, and then they come back together. So inhale, the knees slowly straighten out, knees and toes turn out. Keep that turn out as you slowly draw back up. One more time this direction. So again, notice the torso stays stable. So you're keeping engaged through that core. Now we're reversing it. So inhale, the knees open out. You slowly slide the legs straight, come back to center, and pull up. Core engages. Boom, boom. And release. One more. Readjust on the ball if you need to. All right, feet come down. George goes between the knees. Hands on the Tony balls if you have them. So feet are hip distance apart, squeezing in just a little bit. Notice how that helps you fire that pelvic floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, pressing down a little bit with the arms and slowly rolling the spine up only as high as you can go, and keep long through the low back. Stay for that inhale. Think about length through the spine. Reach the knees over the toes. Exhale, slowly roll yourself down, minimizing any wobble. And again, we're just trying to work on controlling it a little bit, but you gotta know what's there before you can control it. Inhale up and stay. Exhale, slowly release down. So 2 more here. We're moving on the exhale. So pause for the inhales. Feel what happens. Exhale, move, inhale, pause, feel what happens. One more time. And then release. All right, from here, rolling over onto one side. Hello, Rosemary. Okay, so hips and knees are stacked. Toning ball in hand. So we're going to work on opening up the shoulder. Then we'll do a little rotator cuff. So bottom rib is lifted. Top arm reaches out long. As you inhale, arm goes toward the ceiling. As you exhale, slowly roll your spine back. Let the hips shift a little bit. Turn the rib cage. Inhale, stay there. Enjoy that yummy stretch. And then exhale, pull yourself all the way back around. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, shift, round, twist. Inhale. Exhale, all the way back around. 2 more. Take your time here. Again, differentiate the hip shift, the rounding of the low back, the turning of the ribs. And back around. We got 1 more time. Inhale, up, shift, round, twist. And back. All right. Elbow in at your side. Shoulder blade stays back. Shoulder blade stays fixed on the rib cage. Slowly rotate the hand up and down. So think about the wrist stays straight, the bottom rib stays lifted, the hips stay stacked. So working into that rotator cuff. Couple more. Last one. And then that arm goes out straight. And then take that arm most of the way to the ceiling. So keep it slightly in front of the torso so that you keep tension on the back of the shoulder blade, and then you're slowly bringing it back down, parallel to the ground, up, and then slow on the way back down. Up, and slow on the way back down. One more. All right, and then hand comes down by your side in line with the rest of the body, just up about 30 degrees, and then slowly down. So getting again into rotator cuff, this time supraspinatus. Think about that wrist staying straight. One more. And release. All right, other side. Flip around. My cats have been up here. There's stuff over it. Okay. Bottom rib lifted. Arm reaching forward to start. As you inhale, when you're ready, arm goes toward the ceiling. As you exhale, shift the hips around the low back. Turn the rib cage. Inhale, stay. And then as you exhale, pull yourself all the way back around. Inhale, up. Exhale, shift, twist. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back around. We got 2 more here. One more time. All right, rotator cuff, elbow in at your side. Slowly rotate up 90 degrees, elbow stays in, bottom rib stays lifted, up as high as you can go, and keeping that elbow in place and keeping that shoulder blade fixed. Take your time, exhale up, slow on the way down, inhale, exhale, up. Excuse me, one more. And then that arm goes out straight in front of you. And then you're slowly going to lift that arm most of the way to the ceiling. Again, keep it slightly in front of you so you keep tension on the back of the shoulder blade. And then slowly back to parallel. Inhale or exhale up. Inhale, slow on the way down. Up. The up can be faster. The down can be slower. Two more. Last one. All right, arm down your side and then slowly exhale up. And again, slow down. Just a small lift, 30 degrees. Keeping that range of motion small is what really isolates through supraspinatus. Otherwise, those bigger muscles, your delts will take over. Keep your palm down on this one. Last one. And release. All right. Oh, flipping face down. Breastbone goes on George. Again, your option to not use George is always there. Keep your toning balls that you want to use for T's and W's close at hand. All right, so legs are long, core is engaged. Think about belly button up, forehead goes down. Again, if you're more comfortable, you can put your fists underneath your forehead. What works for you here? So let George take your weight. Feel yourself inhale. The breastbone is going to expand into George a little bit. Rib cage is going to go upwards a little bit. As you exhale, think about relaxing over George. As you inhale this next time, slowly begin to push George forward. Keep the back of the neck long. And as you exhale, slowly release back down. So hands can be in the goalpost position. You can have them down by your side. What works for you here today? Give you a little freedom there to do what you like. And again, pay attention as you're coming up, the neck stays relaxed. Head stays a natural extension of your spine. So you're going from looking straight down to maybe looking toward the top edge of your mat. Maybe a few inches above where you were when you were face down. One more. All right, and then grab those toning balls or weights. Arms out to your side, shoulder blades back. You're in that lifted position. Wrap those abdominals and push George forward. All right, so slowly you're going to drop those hands down, touch your pinky to the ground. Exhale, neck and shoulders relax, pull up. Exhale, feel it between the shoulder blades across the back of the shoulders. Take your time, move on the exhales. One more. And then bend those elbows in, thumbs stay pointing toward the ceiling, coming into W's. So slowly reach forward and pull back. Slowly reach forward. And again, neck stays relaxed. So how far do you reach forward? Only as far as you can go without that neck kicking in. So if you feel it kicking in, put those toning balls down, see if you can do the range of motion there. Again, if you get tired, you can also put toning balls down, get a few more reps in good form and alignment. Keep those abs pulled in. A couple more here. I'm not counting, but why not do a few more? 2 more. Come on, we got this. And then release down and down. Take a breath for a moment. And then you're going to put your left hand in the small of the back. Right hand comes to salute. All right, push George forward again. So as you exhale, you're slowly going to push George to the right. That's going to lift your right shoulder blade and drop the left. And then inhale slowly back to where you started. So the goal here is that the pelvis stays level. You're turning the rib cage. So think about pushing George to the right. He's going to move just a little bit, kind of like when you're pushing forward with him. Keep extended. You're still pushing George up, but you're now also trying to push George sideways. Come on, you got it. Shoulders are relaxed. Feel the core. Feel the hips being steady. If it helps, you can bring your legs together instead of comfortable distance. That might help you fire that pelvic floor more. 2 more. Keep pushing forward. I know I lose that on occasion if I don't remind myself. And release. Check in for a moment. Notice how right and left are different. And then the right hand will go in the small of the back. The left hand comes to salute. And again, you're lifted, you're pushed forward. And then as you exhale, try to push George to the left. So that right shoulder goes down, the left shoulder comes up. Inhale, center. So watch your head. Again, think about turning the rib cage and not so much the neck. Keep pushing forward with that breastbone. Stay long from the low back. So really connect the core if you feel that discomfort in the low back. Core wraps, legs stay pressed down. 2 more. Last one here. Push towards the left and release down. Take a few breaths. Notice how it feels different to lay on George now. Hopefully it's a little bit easier. And then George gets to come out. And between your ankles, knees will go out wide. And head, however, is comfortable to have it supported. All right, core engaged again, belly buttons up, gently pushing down just or in just a little bit. And again, take those knees a little bit wider than you normally do. So we're going to start with just an engagement first. We're not going to lift this first round. So as you exhale, think about the core zipping up. Press your heels in and notice how much tension you need before it starts wobbling. So just to that point of you might wobble, but you're still in control. And then feel those glutes really fire. So the hamstring is starting to pull up as well as that glute fire, and then relax, let it go. So again, exhale, core wraps, gentle press in on the ball, and then increase that tension just a little bit so you're still in control. Feel the glutes fire. Keeping those knees on the ground 1 more time. So again, if you're not feeling those glutes fire, take your knees a little bit wider. So the wider they go, the more isolation you're going to have on the glutes. I kind of want you to challenge that range of motion today. So again, last time pressing in here. All right, so where do you need to be able to lift the ball or lift your knees? So as you exhale, glutes, core, press in, and then slowly lift the knees up. Inhale, stay. Exhale, slow, slow, slow. Release those knees back down. Take an inhale, exhale, glutes, core, press in on the ball, lift up. So upper body should also be relaxed here as you're doing this. If you're feeling it tense up and rounding or moving, then really take the time to reset the core first or make your movement smaller. So when you're ready, exhale, glutes, core, press, and up. All right, so now take your knees wider if you can. Core, glutes, press, up, and then down. All right, so this time when we're up, we're going to add a little bit more of a clamshell motion. So core, press, glutes, up. Now, as you exhale, take your knees, rotate them a little wider. Inhale to where you started. Exhale, rotate a little wider. Inhale, exhale, rotate a little wider. Inhale, and release down. 2 more sets like that. Core, press, glutes, lift. Press out, number 1. Release, number 2. Number 3. And release down. 1 more set like that. Core, press, glutes, whoop. 3, 2, 1, and release. Go and take the ball out and into child's pose. And again, that could be wherever is appropriate for you. So since we have one person on here today who has knee issues, I'm just going to roll over to my side to show the abnormal, different way you can do it, but you can also do the more traditional child's pose. So the goal here is that the low back gets rounded. So think about rolling that low back, really engage and give me that imprint. Give me that lengthening through the low back. All right. Oops, my ball fell. Whoops. All right, onto your back again. Forward under your feet. Knees are going to be zipped together. So if you need some help with that, you can take one of your toning balls, maybe not a dumbbell if that's what you're using, and put it between the knees. It's just going to give you, again, that biofeedback about what's going on. Completely optional, although if you lift your hips up from this position and your knees normally go out, you need that ball. All right, arms down by your side, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, spine stays in neutral. Press down on the ball, lift your hips up just a little bit. All right, stay here. Slowly lower your hips halfway down. Exhale, lift them back up to that spot. Halfway down from wherever you are. Back up. 1 more time. Halfway down. Back up. And then slowly release all the way down. Reset. And again, this initial lift is only as high as you can control. So core engages. Press the knees. Spine stays neutral. Lift up. Halfway down, re-engage the glutes. Halfway down, re-engage. So that spine is staying still. Last time here, and then tailbone is the first thing to come down. So no rolling of the spine, release those hips. All right, 1 more set like this. So more of a challenge, arms toward the ceiling. So exhale, lift. Again, keep that spine neutral. You're hinging, femur in the hip socket, halfway down, lift. Halfway down, lift, halfway down, lift, and then release. Straight drop down, knees into chest. All right, grab toning balls. Oh, hopefully the mat set. I've got a mat set here somewhere. Here we go. All right, toning balls toward the ceiling. Legs in tabletop. Core is engaged. You're in a slight imprint just because your legs are up. You don't have to think about it. So take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to let your legs drop just a little bit to the right. Stay here for inhale. Exhale. See if you can imprint a little bit more. Excuse me, and go a little farther. Inhale, exhale, imprint, go a little more. And then slowly inhale back to center. Exhale. So as you're twisting, let the legs go the same distance, the knees, the ankles. Stay for inhale. Exhale. Imprint a little bit more, go a little farther. Inhale, exhale. Imprint a little bit more, go a little farther. Inhale, back to center. So 2 more sets like this. So taking your time. So you're really truly just rocking your pelvis side to side. We're just really slowing down and challenging your range of motion here. And then back to center. So hands should be up toward the ceiling the whole time. The toning balls are there to kind of tell you if those shoulder blades try to lift and to give you that visual of, are my hands changing place relative to the wall? And then back to center. All right, legs go up straight. Oh, I can feel my run from this morning. All right, so from here, core zips. As you exhale, slowly let those legs go. Longer lever, shorter distance. Stay here for inhale. Stay here for exhale. Stay here for inhale. Exhale, you go just a smidge farther, and then back to center. So this is too much for your low back. Bend those knees again. Take an inhale, exhale, slowly. Legs go to the left, other way. Stay for inhale. So we're not trying to move this time. We're just trying to hold it by the fact that it is a longer lever. Inhale, back to center. It's more challenging. We got one more set. So slowly roll those legs. Again, notice the pelvis shift. Sides are staying equally long. And then inhale, back to center. Last time. Notice those obliques. You should be noticing those diagonals that they do right now. And then slowly back to center. Knees into chest. Rock around for a minute. All right, and then toning balls, if you choose, hands by your knees. Inhale, head nod. Exhale, curl yourself up. All right, so single leg stretch, but as you push the right leg out, the right arm goes overhead. Pull back in. Left leg, left arm. So same arm and leg. So really think about as you're going out, scoop those abdominals even more. I'm going to put my toning balls down so I can talk. So really scoop first before you start that motion of arm and leg. So start your exhale, scoop, and then out. Exhale, scoop, then out. So you're really feeling that draw up and in. Feel that lower triangle really connecting before you go, because you're really going to be stable through here so the hip flexors actually do the work they're supposed to. It stays out of your low back. All right, so you're doing same arm, same leg right now. Or some of you are. Some of you are doing opposite. So go the other way. So if it's right arm, left leg, now you're going opposites. If you were doing opposites, now you do same. So this is a different neural pattern than what we just did. So again, picking your choice here. And really think about core zips, engages. Notice how right and left different. Notice how it's different when it's the same arm and leg and cross body. You get a little bit more stabilization of the core. You get a little more of that diagonal pull depending on what you're doing. All right, a couple more here. Make sure your neck stays relaxed. And we start with the right leg, finish with the left leg, and then knees into chest. Rock around. Toning balls can go away. Know where all your toys are, and bring yourself up to sitting. All right, you need George. George is going to go behind your sacrum and then a little bit away, and you're going to lean back onto him. So you should be in a C curve here. Excuse me. So sacrum's a little bit off George. He's kind of more on your low back area, but he's really supporting that lower body. All right, so from here, bring a leg into tabletop and then the other. So you may find you need to roll down a little bit more so George goes a little bit higher in order to be able to do this. All right, so scoop it. Again, if you need to touch toes down, you're welcome to. All right, so staying engaged. So we're in a C curve right now. Notice your neck, nice and relaxed. Notice the length in your spine. Inhale, slowly extend through the rib cage. And then exhale, ribs pull back down. Inhale, control the ribs slide away from the hips. Exhale, pull back down. So the pelvis is staying still, the low back is staying still. This is all thoracic extension. All right, lighten your touch on your legs. Keep those legs together. And I want you to now challenge that range of motion just a little bit. So slowly, how far back can you go and maintain control? So this is more than a J curve. This is now definitely thoracic extension. But again, it helps because think about on the way up, you got to do a little head nod. You got to really focus on the core working to pull you up. You have to control that release down. So take your time, do a few more. So think about zip and engage. Abs are working here. Feel that connection, ribs to hips. It is what is allowing you to do that motion over the ball. One more time, up and over,
And then release and go ahead and sit up. Nice work. Check in. How does your neck feel? How much work was the neck trying to do? All right, George gets to go underneath your knees. I know, Sharon, we've not done that before. You know I make things up as we go, so. All right, so heels are down. George underneath the knees, you are sitting. You can do toning balls in hand. Evidently talking today and holding toning balls is not working. All right, so core engages, shoulder blades back, drop those elbows. That's gonna help keep the collarbones relaxed. Take an inhale. As you exhale, pull the pubic bone up. Keep your eye line straight forward, and you're slowly gonna roll yourself back. Keep pressing down on George. You'll find your legs are rolling a little bit. That's fine. Inhale. Exhale. Slide your ribs to the hips. Keep your C curve. Bring yourself forward. Keep your C curve here. Inhale. Slowly roll that pelvis back. Tip back. Slow, slow, slow. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring yourself. So you're moving femurs and pelvis. So the pelvis is actually rolling back on the femurs. The femurs aren't really doing too much work here. So think about pressing those legs down. And again, that tactile sense of George. Feel George. What's going on? Relax the neck and shoulders. Stay broad across the collarbones. All right, this time go back and hold. Feel that scoop. Still got your C curve. And then slowly start to roll yourself down. All the way down. Arms go overhead, toning balls in hand if you want. Inhale, arms up, head nod, ab prep, imprint. Press down into George and slowly scoop those abs forward. Keep that C curve. Keep your paperclip as long as you can. Slowly roll back. Pressing down on George, arms go overhead. One more like this, and then you know I'm going to change it because that's what I do. Slowly roll back down. Go ahead and put one toning ball down. And now roll up. So now you are asymmetrical. Notice how the obliques have to work a little bit differently in order to get you up. Press down on George. You can use magic buttons behind the knees if you need to. So take your time here. Feel that roll. Feel the core. If you need to push yourself up, that's fine. You know me, I like to focus on the down. So really think about the down here. Go slow. Think about the control. Shoulders are relaxed. All right, when you get down this time, pause. Switch hands with the toning ball. And then other side. Inhale up, head nod, ab prep, imprint, core engages, and slowly rolling yourself up. Inhale, start to roll back. And all the way over. Inhale, head nod. Exhale, roll up. Inhale up. Exhale, and roll down. Good. Take your time here. And again, focus more on down as opposed to up. So take your time. Really focus here. If you need to help yourself on the way up, you know I'm fine with that. Last time. And down. And release. Knees into chest. Rock around a little bit. All right, and then feet go back on George again. I know you thought you were getting away with no hamstrings today. Oh, we are doing hamstrings. All right, feet on George. Heels are going to be in relatively close. Stay neutral in the spine, so you have a little bit of space beneath the low back, but you're still getting that draw up and that drop down. And exhale, slowly lift up. So hopefully your hamstrings are warmed up. All right, so from here, slowly push your heels out and then slowly pull your heels in. So your range of motion is entirely up to what's going on with you today, to your strength. Think about the glutes staying engaged. Think about hamstrings when you're pulling in, pull from that mid-thigh.
up toward the hip. One more, and then slowly release down, and then knees in. Go ahead and give yourself a little hamstring stretch. Both heels press up, knees bend a little bit. On the inhales, bend them a little bit more. On the exhales, try to press those heels up. All right, and then we get to flip over onto our side because it is my time, my favorite class, my favorite time of class. There we go, that's what we want. All right, onto your side. Bottom rib lifts, spine is long, perpendicular. Again, head's a natural extension of the spine. And then slowly start with that lower body shift. So ribs stay still, slowly push that top knee forward and pull that top hip back. And again, if you don't have George, you can still slide the knees a little bit on each other. The range of motion will be smaller. Upper body stays relaxed. Neck stays long. So just warming up through the low back. Now I want you to put your awareness into this hip. So as you're pushing forward, how can you use your hip to do the work? We can do it most first, definitely from the core, but I want you to think hip. How do I get the hip to do the work? All right, last one. All right, keep that hip rotated back. You're going to Betty boot. So rotate the lower leg toward the ceiling and back down. Excuse me. So again, your knees should be relatively stacked. So feeling that femur turn in the hip socket. One more, up and hold. All right, so as you exhale, keeping that bottom rib lifted, try to rotate that heel a little bit higher, but keep the femurs stacked. Relax your toes, I know they want to help. And then slowly release down. All right, so from here, heels stay together. You can put that top hand in front for balance. Pelvis stays still. As you exhale, lift your knees. Inhale down. Exhale, core engages, lift the knees. So check in with the pelvis. It should be staying still. So if you need to put yourself up against a wall to do this one, you're welcome to. It's easy to do if you let your pelvis roll. That was a pelvis roll. It's much more challenging if you're actually doing it, isolating through the hips. One more. All right, George comes out, that top leg goes out straight. Bottom leg can angle out more if you want more challenge for balance. If you want less, you're gonna keep it bent, so what works for you? Excuse me. All right, so from here, take this leg back behind you and then lift it up. Working that little up position. So exhale, just lift up and back. Inhale, release a little bit. So you're working that back diagonal. So you're reaching toward the back top corner of the room. You're going that way, that way. All right, so keep that bottom rib up. And again, get that glute fired. It should be warmed up through the hips already. One more, up and hold. And then you're gonna bend that knee, bring it forward, touch down. So keeping that leg at that diagonal you were just working. So bend the knee, fold in, and release. So more of a challenge is to take that top arm out of the picture. So you can do it by taking it toward the ceiling. You can put it on the hip. Think about what's happening at the core here. So we have more challenge to the core because of that forward and backward. So watch what's going on. Take your time. Heel stays higher than your knee. One more time. Up and hold. All right, take that top arm, reach it overhead. That's going to help you lift that bottom rib. All right, so from here, you're slowly gonna kick the leg forward and you're gonna turn your rib cage behind you. And then slowly the leg goes behind, the arm goes overhead and slightly forward. How far can you go back and control that low back? Twist, kick the leg forward, arm goes behind, up and over. And again, just a little bit forward with that arm. It actually gets deeper into that psoas stretch if that arm stays high by your head, just a little bit in front of the face. One more. All right, then hand comes to hip. Both knees come back to 90 and 90. Try to keep that top leg up if you can. Again, check in with that bottom rib. All right, from here, think about their lower leg stays parallel to the ground. Exhale, lift. There we go. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Nice thing about videos, I can actually see myself. Woo-hoo. So make sure the knee and the foot are traveling the same distance. It's easy to do if something else compensates. So really focus on what you feel. If you need to look down with that leg and make sure it's staying level, you're welcome to. Last one. Woo. Hold it parallel. And then you're going to bring it in toward your chest. The knee comes in just about 2 inches. And then use your glute, push it away about 4. That means it comes back in 4 inches. It goes away 4 inches. Again, shin stays parallel to the ground. So again, noticing what you feel. You can see yourself in the video. Look at that. Last one. And release. Excellent job. All right, flipping onto your back, give that hip a little stretch. Figure 4, the crossed over variation of it. What do you need? And now let's hope I remember what all we did and flip to the other side. Sure, it will come back to me. Somebody feel free to unmute if I forget anything. All right, so bottom rib lifted, bottom core is engaged, especially those obliques. Hips are stacked. Nice long spine. All right, so from here, squeeze in on George a little bit. Your heels stay together, and then you're slowly going to push that top knee forward, and then slowly push that top hip back. So again, ribs are staying still. You got a little bit of an imprint going on. You're getting that lower body to rotate. And now again, as you get used to this, now begin to focus, okay, how do I do this from the hip? Easy to do it from the core. How do I do it from utilizing the hip? Pull back. So this is abduction and adduction at the hip. Core is going to kick in. It's going to do some work. We get to decide how much gets to be done by the hip. Couple more. Shoulders are relaxed. All right, then back to neutral, and we got our belly boots. So that heel slowly rotates up to the ceiling. Femur stays in place. You're just rotating about the axis of that leg, of that upper leg. Again, bottom rib stays up. You got that nice check-in. One more, up and hold. Take a few breaths, and as you exhale, try to go a little higher. Keep your toes relaxed, wiggle them if it helps. Exhale, try to go a little higher. A little higher. Noticing what you feel. And then slowly release down. Now your heels are together. They are your pivot point. Your knees squeeze into the ball. That top hand can be in front for that little bit of balance. And as you exhale, heels are your pivot point. Lift the knees. Pelvis stays still. Slowly release back down. Core engaged. Move the femurs in the hip sockets. So you're going to feel yourself roll a little bit on the ball. That's partly indicative that you're doing it right. But again, notice what you feel at the pelvis. So you're feeling that little bit of a roll on the ball because your legs are switching lengths. One's going from longer to shorter. Your heels are nice and solid into the mats. Couple more. Last one right here. All right, and that ball gets to come out. Top leg goes out straight. Again, bottom leg is straight if you want challenge. You can bend it, you can angle it if you want some stability. All right, so that leg is parallel to start. And then you're gonna put it behind you. And now you're gonna lift it up. So working on that last little up motion while the leg's behind you. Again, feel the draw in. Feel that lift up. Feel the reach with that leg. Shoulder blade back. All right, now keep it up. Working on the diagonal. Bend that knee, bring it forward, touch down, as long as you keep your pelvis still, and then push it back and behind. Bring it forward, bend that knee, spine stays as still as you're able. A little bit of reflex and response is okay. Oh, we have Kitty joining us today. Hi, Princess Di. One more. Keep it back. Bring it down a little bit so it's parallel. Top arm reaches overhead. So coming into that twist. So kicking that top leg forward and rotate the rib cage back. And then slowly reach back with the leg and the arm comes just a little bit forward. Again, feel the stretch through the front, through your hip flexors. Slowly rotate back. And then reach front. So hip flexors right here. Feel it up and in. Let those ribs roll forward when that arm and torso go forward. Round. Again, that's going to get you deeper in. Be curious. What happens? Couple more. All right, and then bring the arm down. Both legs come back to 90-90. Keep the top one active if you can. Bottom rib stays up, tailbone reaching toward the end of your mat. Again, noticing that shin, keeping it parallel to the mat. You're slowly going to exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, how high do you lift? As high as you can maintain that control through the pelvis and through the leg rotation. Audrey, you are getting some love there. Three more. And then hold it parallel. And now that knee comes in about 2 inches and then it pushes away forward. Again, keep this motion relatively small. So you really have to control it. And the goal here is to really focus on what the pelvis is doing. So if you're really small, you can feel glute fires to pull that leg back. I use my hip flexors to pull forward. Feel the opposition of what's going on with the core and the hip muscles. Two more. And then release down. Onto your back, stretching that hip out as you would like. All right, and then release. All right, we got some extension work to do. So, whoop, toys off to the side. George can go off to the side or on the floor. feet go mat width apart. Swan dive. So nose is hovering, core is engaged, knees and toes turned out, and mat width apart. So think about glutes are firing. That's going to help keep that rotation. It's going to help keep your lower body stable. All right, so from here, inhale, you're gently pushing the breastbone forward, back and the neck stays long. Notice that position, lock it in. All right, now exhale, press up onto the pubic bone, keeping that spine in the position you just had it in. Take an inhale, and then slowly exhale, release down and down. Again, inhale, open up. Just to that point, the bottom ribs are still on the ground. Exhale, lock it in, lift up, and then slowly down and down. So we're going to add in an alternate leg lifting, alternating leg lift. So inhale up, exhale, stabilize, fire your right glute so that as you come down, that right leg comes up. And then inhale, start to push yourself up. Again, that core should be locking in place now. You're staying in that extension. Keep that knee and toe turned out. You can use your arms a little bit to control what's going on. But again, it's all about keeping that core locked. So what's the range of motion you can do and maintain this seesaw position? Continuing to alternate, no discomfort in the low back. Stay relaxed through the neck and shoulders. Again, hands are pressing down, pulling in more than anything. That's going to help engage the lats. It helps stabilize the low back. You started with the right leg. Finish with the left leg. And then back into child's pose. And again, if you need to be on your side, you need to be on your back for child's pose, for shell, you're welcome to. Again, the goal here is that equal curve in that low back and that spine, regardless of that position. Where do you feel like you get a nice rounding? And then slowly up. All right. Have a seat. Let's do a little rolling like a ball. So hands on shins. If you'd like to add toys, you are, as always, welcome to. So George, behind the knees. I'm not going to let you put them in the easy spots, though. So how high up depends to you. The higher up, the easier it's going to be. If you want toning balls in hand, you're welcome to do that as well. All right, shoulder blades are broad. Sorry, shoulder blades are in, collarbones are broad. Roll back to C-curve, and then lift those legs to balance. All right, keep those knees together. Inhale, back to shoulder blades. Exhale, back up and balance. Toe tap. Inhale up. Exhale. Tap your toes. Again, that tapping of your toes is just a distraction. Whoa! So you stay in the balance a little bit more. That was a nice one, Rosemary. I like the toe tap. Again, try to keep your heels in. It's easy to do this if you let your legs open out. So keep your heels in. Keep your knees in that degreed angle, whatever that degree is for you. Roll back. And again, if you let go of the arms, it's more challenging. Woo. All right, more of a challenge if you want. Arms overhead. Whoop. The challenge is on the way up. Couple more. Nice. All right, and then relax. All right, we're going to finish with a seated twist and a little bit of lateral flexion for the spine. So whatever position works for you. If you'd like to use George, you're welcome to. You don't have to. Inhale tall. As you exhale, lift up and out of that pelvis. Gently rotate to your left. Inhale, back off a little bit. Exhale, go deeper. Inhale, back off. Exhale, go deeper. And then inhale, center. Exhale, going to the right. 3 breaths. Use the exhale to get farther around. Exhale, back to the left. 2, 3. Inhale,
Inhale, center. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. One more set. Take your time. And again, make sure it's the spine rotating. Hands stay roughly in front of the breastbone, as does the nose. And then release. All right, George, underneath your left hand. Inhale, that right arm goes up, and as you exhale, keeping the right pelvis down, slowly stretch sideways, so that arm can go farther overhead if you'd like, and then slowly back up. So notice your pelvis, keep it centered. You can Indian style your legs if that's better. And then up. So trying to get a stretch from this side of the hip up to that shoulder, getting your lats, your QL, those obliques stretched out. And then other side, up and lean. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Inhale, back up. One more time. And lean, and then go ahead and round yourself forward. Let's take a few breaths here. Let's check in, see how you feel. And then slowly stack your spine up. Elbows back, shoulders back, open up through the chest, lift the chin a little bit. And then arms come forward, pull the shoulder blades apart, drop your chin. And then slowly inhale all the way up to the ceiling, stretch tall, and give yourself a great big hand. Excellent job. Thank you for being here today. Audrey, please thank the animals for their appearance. Loved seeing the cat. Of course I did. Stop recording.